Good morning, Troy here with Back Trail Ventures. It's the 10th of January and I am just over the border from New Mexico and in Arizona in the Apache National Forest, and I'm going to be on a 3-day hike, 2-night camp in the it's called the Lanphier-Blue Canyon Loop, and it's 30 miles long, so about 10 miles a day. And yeah, it's beautiful down here, much different weather than we had up north, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll get some good shots. So talk to you later. Okay, so I finally made it to camp. I didn't stay in Bear Valley like I planned on. There were some other campers with horses up there, so I decided to find something else, and I did. There's some frozen water next to the campsite here. Just break the surface of that, and I got some water. So I'm pretty stoked about that. As far as the trail, the first 3 miles is wooded and pleasant, and a stream, and it's just really nice. And then after that, the stream stops because it's being fed by Indian Canyon Spring, and then it stops, and then it gets steep. And then when you connect up with Cow Flat Trail, just make sure that you're paying attention to where you're going, because you can lose a trail pretty easily. It's not a very well-worn trail. It's very faint in places, and you probably will lose it at times. If you have a GPS, it'll help you a bunch. And then lots of bear scat around here. I assume that they're hibernating this time of year, so the scat looks pretty old. But as a warning, if you're coming here in the spring or the summer, you'll probably have quite a bit of bear activity. Other than that, it's not a bad area. It's just not very well used, which is a good thing. If you're looking for isolation, this is a good place to come. And in the wintertime, I'm here in January. It's a little chilly, obviously, but there's no snow. So it's a good place to come as an option in the wintertime. Just make sure to check your forecast. So anyway, I'm going to get something to eat and hang out around the fire, and then I'm going to hit the sack. So see you tomorrow. Bye. All right, finally made it to camp. Ended up doing an extra 1.5 miles just so I could get closer to the trailhead. That way tomorrow I'm only hiking about 8.5 miles. And but yeah, I lucked out. This is Raspberry Canyon, Raspberry Creek, and have you take a look here. It's pretty sweet. Nice fresh water. This runs into the Blue River. And I set up tent right up here. And take a look at that view. That's pretty impressive. Look at that over there. So yeah, kind of lucked out on the campsite. But I'll talk a little bit more later. So a summary of the day. Started off getting up about 7 o'clock, pretty chilly. And in fact, I had a hard time keeping my liquids getting frozen last night. Put them in the sleeping bag, and so fuel canister and everything. And but I got up, probably got down to around 10, maybe single digits, but I don't know if I got that cold. If you're going to be doing this trail, make sure that you understand that you're going to be losing the trail. There's not a whole lot of maintenance on these trails, and they're very lightly used, and the trail just disappears. So if you have a GPS, it definitely helps get you back on track, but even when you think you are on the trail, it's not there. So eventually you will get on the trail, just you know, just stay on track. Government Mesa, when you drop down to Government Mesa, it starts to get pretty desert-like, cactus and things like that. Very prickly bushes, which just tears things up. Route finding, losing trail, backtracking, bushwhacking, back on trail. So yeah, finally I got to Blue River, and again, when you're on the river, just understand when you're on a river or in a canyon, the shortest distance between A and B is a straight line, so you're going to cut across. There is a trail, and if you maintain that, you'll cross the creek or the river probably about 15-20 times, but you will eventually get there. Okay, almost back to the trailhead and back up in the high country. As you can see, we've got some nice forested areas finally, and yeah, it's a really interesting area. Lots of diverse climates, environments, and so yeah. The road's actually about an extra 2 miles than I thought it was, so I'm glad I went the extra 1.5 miles last night. Road's, you know, just a road march, but one of the most beautiful roads I've been on in a long time. So yeah, and I saw a board, trail board, way back, and the area I was in is kind of more of a primitive area, and also there was a forest fire there. I'm not sure what year, but that could probably be some of the reason why the trail was not very well established, and so not very well used, but it's definitely worth the trip. So anyway, I'm almost back to the Jeep, but get out here and take a hike.